The night everything collided. I didn't stop her when she walked out. I should have. Or maybe that's just something people say after the damage is done. She grabbed her keys, wiped the last of her fake tears, and looked at me like I was an inconvenience she'd finally outgrown. "I'm staying with a friend," she said flatly. "Don't call me." Then she was gone. The house felt impossibly quiet after that, like all the sound had been sucked out of it along with the last scraps of the life I thought we had. I sat at the kitchen table for a long time, staring at the wood grain, replaying every word she'd said, every look she'd given me. My hands were shaking so badly I had to clasp them together. Around 1:30 a.m., my phone rang, an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "Is this Daniel?" a woman asked. Her voice was clipped, professional. "Yes." "This is Officer Reynolds with the city police. Your wife, Maya. Are you her husband?" My heart slammed into my ribs. "Yes." "What happened?" "There's been an accident." The world narrowed to that single word. "She was involved in a collision near the East Overpass," the officer continued. "She's conscious. Minor injuries, but the other party, where is she?" I cut in. "St. Vincent's Medical Center. You should come." I don't remember the drive. I remember red lights blurring. My knuckles white on the steering wheel, my brain bouncing between terror and something darker, something angry and bitter that I hated myself for feeling. At the hospital, the smell of antiseptic hit me first, then the noise. Monitors beeping, shoes squeaking, voices echoing. I found her sitting on a gurney, a blanket around her shoulders, a small cut on her forehead, mascara streaked down her face. She looked shaken, and sitting 2 chairs away from her was Alex. His arm was in a sling. A bruise was already blooming along his jaw. For a second, none of us spoke. Then Maya saw me, and her expression twisted instantly into fury. "What are you doing here?" she snapped. I laughed. I couldn't help it. A hollow, broken sound. "You called the police. The police called me. Care to explain why your friend's place was apparently the passenger seat of his car?" Alex stood up. "Hey man, let's keep this calm." "Sit down," I said, my voice colder than I felt. "You don't get to speak right now." Maya jumped in front of him like a shield. "This is exactly why I didn't want you involved. You always make things worse." "Worse?" I repeated. "You got into a car accident with the man you told me you weren't cheating with." "It wasn't like that," she screamed, drawing looks from nearby nurses. "We were just talking. At midnight, in his car." She looked away. That's when the officer returned with paperwork. "Sir," he said to me quietly, "we'll need to discuss something with you." He led me a few steps away. "The other driver filed a report," he continued. "They claim your wife's passenger was intoxicated." I stared at Alex. "He wasn't driving," I said slowly. "No," the officer replied, "but witnesses say they left a bar together. We'll need statements." Everything clicked into place. The late nights, the charges, the lies stacked on top of lies. Maya overheard us and lost it. "He had one drink," she yelled. "This is ridiculous." Alex finally snapped. "Maya, stop." She spun on him. "Don't tell me to stop. This is your fault. Your fault." The words hung there. I watched them argue, really watched, and something horrifying became clear. This wasn't a fling. This was a relationship. The way she defended him, the way she blamed him, the way he looked exhausted but still worried about her. They had history, depth, damage. Later, after Alex was taken to get x-rays, Maya followed me into the hallway. "This didn't have to happen," she said, suddenly calm. Too calm. "If you just trusted me." I laughed again. "You're unbelievable." "You drove me away," she said sharply. "You emotionally abandoned me. Alex was there." "So you slept with him." She hesitated. That hesitation was louder than any confession. "Yes," she said finally, "but it didn't mean nothing." That sentence destroyed me more than if she'd said it did. "And the pregnancy scare?" I asked quietly. Her face went pale. "I lost it," she whispered. I felt dizzy. "You lost it?" "A few days ago," she said. "I didn't tell you because everything was already falling apart." I leaned against the wall, struggling to breathe. "So you cheated," I said. "You got pregnant, you lied, and now you want a divorce. And half of everything," she added without shame, "at least." I looked at her then, really looked, and felt something inside me go numb. This isn't over," I said. She smirked. "No, it's just beginning." The next morning, her parents called me. Furious, confused, demanding answers. By the afternoon, she'd already contacted a lawyer, and by that evening, I received a message from an unknown number. It was a video. Alex, drunk, angry, saying things he clearly never meant for anyone else to see. And buried inside that video was a revelation so disturbing, so unexpected, that it made the affair look small by comparison. Because Alex wasn't just a trainer with loose morals. He was hiding something far worse. I watched the video 3 times before it fully sank in. The first time I was too stunned to process it. The second time, I felt sick. By the third, my hands were shaking so badly I had to sit down. It was filmed vertically, grainy, low light. Alex was clearly drunk, slurring, pacing back and forth in what looked like a locker room or maybe a storage area behind the gym. Someone off camera was laughing, egging him on. "Man, you're gonna ruin your life," the voice said. Alex scoffed. "Already did. But whatever, she's not even the first one." That line made my stomach drop. "The married ones are always the easiest," Alex continued, running a hand through his hair. "They come in insecure, desperate to feel seen. You give them attention, tell them they're special, and boom." The person filming laughed again. "And the husbands?" Alex went on. "Clueless, every single time." I paused the video. My ears were ringing. I hit play again, forcing myself to keep going. "You ever worry one of them finds out?" the voice asked. Alex leaned closer to the camera, his expression darkening. "That's why I don't date them publicly. No names, no trails. If things get messy, I disappear." Disappear. My chest tightened. "And the pregnancy stuff?" the voice pressed. Alex rolled his eyes. "That happens sometimes. Scares them straight, or scares them off. Either way, not my problem." I stopped the video there. I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just an affair. This wasn't even just betrayal. This man had a pattern. And my wife wasn't special to him. She was a routine. I sat there for a long time, staring at my phone, replaying Maya's words in my head. Alex was there. He listened. He made me feel alive. I wondered how many other husbands had sat exactly where I was sitting now, trying to piece together their lives after crossing paths with the same man. Then my phone rang. Maya. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "What do you want?" I said. Her voice was sharp, irritated. "Why is my phone blowing up with messages about Alex?" "Maybe because the truth has a way of leaking," I replied. "What truth?" she snapped. I sent her the video. There was a long pause on the line. Then, "Where did you get that?" "That's your concern," I said. "Not what he said." "He was drunk," she shot back immediately. "People say stupid things." "He said you weren't the first." Silence. "He said married women were easy," I continued. "He said he disappears when things get messy." Sound familiar? She inhaled sharply. "You're twisting this." "No," I said calmly. "I'm finally seeing it clearly." Her tone changed then, slid into something colder, more calculating. "You need to delete that," she said. "That video could ruin him." I laughed, stunned. "You're worried about him?" "He could sue," she yelled. "This could affect the divorce." There it was. Not remorse. Not shame. Damage control. "Did you know?" I asked quietly. "Did you know he'd done this before?" "No," she said too quickly. "Why would I?" "Because Lena told me something else," I said. That made her freeze. "She said you met one of his other clients at a party," I continued. "A woman who mysteriously stopped coming to the gym. A woman you told me was crazy." Maya's voice dropped to a whisper. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I think I do," I said, "and I think you chose not to know." She exploded. "You think you're some hero now?" She screamed. "You checked out of our marriage. You let me rot emotionally. Alex didn't force me. I chose him." "And now?" I asked. "And now I'm choosing myself," she said. "I'm filing first thing tomorrow, and I'm taking what I deserve." She hung up. The next morning, I met with a lawyer, a calm older woman with sharp eyes who didn't flinch when I told her everything: the affair, the pregnancy scare, the accident, the video. She leaned back in her chair. "You need to prepare for a fight." "I know," I said. "She's already requested exclusive use of the house," the lawyer continued, "and she's claiming emotional neglect." I felt my jaw tighten. She cheated, lied, and admitted it. "Doesn't matter," the lawyer replied gently. "What matters is what we can prove." I slid my phone across the desk. "What about this?" She watched the video carefully. Then she nodded. "This changes things." That afternoon, Maya showed up at the house unannounced. She walked in like she still owned the place, straight-backed, confident, already planning her victory. "We need to talk," she said. "Say what you came to say," I replied. She smiled thinly. "I want this to be civil, for both our sakes." "You want the house," I said. "The savings, and for me to keep my mouth shut." She shrugged. "That's marriage." I stood up. You were manipulated. Her smile vanished. He used you, I continued. And you let him. Stop, she hissed. You weren't special to him, Maya, I said quietly. You were a pattern. Her face twisted with something like fear. You don't get to rewrite this, she snapped. I won't be humiliated. It's not about humiliation, I said. It's about truth. She stepped closer, eyes blazing. If you release that video, I'll destroy you in court. I met her gaze. Then you'd better hope there aren't more. Her breath caught, because we both knew men like Alex don't make just one mistake. That night, my lawyer called again. There's been a development, she said. The gym contacted us, quietly. My heart started pounding. They've received multiple complaints, she continued, and one former member is willing to talk. She says Alex didn't just manipulate her. I swallowed. What did he do? There was a pause. He crossed the line, the lawyer said, and it wasn't the first time. I hung up, realizing something chilling. This story was no longer just about my marriage. It was about a man who'd been hiding in plain sight, and the women, including my wife, who'd helped protect him. And the next step would force all of us into the spotlight, whether Maya liked it or not. If you think the truth is finally out, think again. What came next didn't just expose the affair, it revealed how deep this really went, and how dangerous things were about to become. New voices came forward, pressure started building, and the situation spiraled fast. The next chapter takes this story to a whole different level. And that's where everything truly starts to unravel. Catch part 3 in the next video. If you want to follow the full story from start to finish, subscribe to the channel, hit like to support it, and stay tuned. Because what happens next changes everything.